setter. Lay low, I'm an off trimmer. Alligator. Cause I'm a see you later. Alright, so later.
All the way in Switzerland, and you're tuning into the Black House Fire Radio, and you're listening to the African Diary Show with Tati. Massive. Stay tuned.
He like my stiletto, and that I'm a ghetto girl. He said that I'm better, greater than any other girl. He said go ghetto 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 girl. He like when I shake my body, and the sound of my voice when I say.
A very good afternoon, my people. Yes, karibuni sana to the African Diary Show. Shout out to Vadro. Shout out to Veronica. Good afternoon to you too, Veronica.
I'ma see you later. Alright, till later, cause I'm faded. Baby, when I'm sober, we can talk.
Shout out to DJ Roma 07.
Take me over, the moon with your love. I said, baby, when I'm sober, we can talk about how you take me over, the moon with your love. When you say go ghetto girl, 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 you like my gangster and my devotion. He say go gangster girl, go get your money. Respect my gangster. I know he loves it. Says I'm the master of his soul. Go ghetto girl. Go ghetto girl. Go ghetto girl.
Salutations, Master all the way in Switzerland, and you're tuning into the Black House Fire Radio, and you're listening to the African Diary Show with Tati. Massive.
Yes, a very good afternoon. to everybody who is there with the African Diary Show. I'm hoping you're having a wonderful Thursday on your end. But karibuni sana once again. My name is Katie, in case you're joining us for the first time. And of course, this is the Blackout Fan Network media of the 21st century. And of course, this is the African Diary Show. My name is Katie once again. On today's episode, we shall be discussing a few different things that are coming from African countries. One of it is about the Kenyan court overturning unpopular payroll levy, of which we talked about this. This was introduced during the passing of the finance bill by our president. We all know the finance bill, the unfamous or the unpopular finance bill that was passed by our president in June, and we shall be getting to talk about now overturning, or the Kenyan courts overturning unpopular a payroll levy, and more about that we shall also be getting to discuss. There's some great news coming from Uganda. Imagine there's an African woman at the age of 70 that has given birth to twins. Isn't that amazing? It is amazing. And this is why we talk about menopause. And I believe African women don't have a menopause, because at the age of 70, if you can give birth to twins, that's amazing. That's great. Those are blessings over blessings and everything. It's about blessings. But anyway, we shall be getting to discuss that, more of that, and also get to say about now the African women and their menopause, because I believe in African women, we're not limited to the age of giving birth, unless now you're using the very bad ways of birth control. I bet you're not limited to giving birth at any age. But anyway, shout out to James Alex in the building. I see Weasel Face in the building. I also see somebody who is a DJ Rom07, Karibu Sana, and to all those who are with me on the Blackout Fire Network YouTube channel, Karibuni Sana. To all those who are listening to me via the radio station, Karibuni Sana as well. And also, more of what we shall be discussing is about Cameroon, and the Cameroon government has just received a first shipment of malaria vaccine, and we shall be getting to talk about this because we've been talking about the VACCIN. I'm talking about the vaccines, and we shall be getting to talk about this, but we shall not go deeper. Remember, we are on YouTube. Shout out to Asike, GMFM, and to all those who are just joining us. Kindly make sure you're tapping the screen from wherever you are, and also keep it interactive with me. Do let me know how is your day coming along. How are you doing, by the way? And a happy Thursday to all those who are just joining us. We started off our show with an amazing jam. That was Neymar, and the jam is a Ghetto Girl. I hope you did get to jam onto it, and I hope General Mosquito is in the building. I know he definitely misses that song because General Mosquito was always the one asking me to play him that jam. But anyway, shout out to all those who are with me. I hope you did get to jump onto that amazing voice over there. But we shall go back to one more jam. I'll be back with our quote of the day. And in case you have a quote of the day to share with us or the rest of the audience, kindly make sure you share your quote of the day, and also motivate a brother today, motivate a sister today, and also keep on interacting with us. This is Mashal, and okay, this is King Promise. The jam is Terminator. I hope you get to jam onto it, and also do let me know how is your day coming along. What is your quote of the day? And also keep it interactive with me, and also do let me know how is your day so far. King Promise, Terminator, enjoy the jam. Remember to come back with your quote of the day.
I can deliver. I pass it up top. My quote of the day says, the one who falls and gets up is so much stronger than the one who never fails. The one who falls up and gets up is so much stronger than the one who never fails. Yes, welcome back to the African Diary Show. I hope you're vibing into that greater hit over there. That is King Promise. The Jam is Terminator, and we're just getting started with our show for today. Shout out to all those who are joining us from Facebook, from YouTube, and to all those who are listening to me via the radio station. Shout out to all those who are with me on TikTok. Karibuni sana. I hope you're enjoying your day so far. And as we get to start with our conversation of the day, did you see that the officials in Sierra Leone declared whatever had happened during the weekend was an attempted coup? And I'm like, okay. So we're seeing this in Sierra Leone. How many countries are we here to see this? Because it is going to happen. People are getting tired enough. And by the fact that now there was an attempted coup in Sierra Leone, it means that people in Sierra Leone are waking up and they are getting tired enough. And I talked about this and I said this looks like an attempted coup. I remember on Monday I mentioned about this, and we were not so sure what had happened, but it looked like an attempted coup. So yeah, it was an attempted coup. The officials declared yesterday that it was the day before yesterday. It was on Tuesday when they declared that this was an attempted coup, and I'm so happy to see this. But now, do you think that this is going on the right side? Because right now, in a country like Burkina Faso, we are so sure that this is going on the right way, but also we are in the middle of a confusion that
and gain their independence back. Shout out to Rayana on the Blackout Fire Network channel. Karibu sana. Shout out to Jemo. Thank you very much. Shout out to D. Karibu sana, and thank you very much. And as we get to continue, I want to read you an article talking about the whole scenario in Sierra Leone, and also you can as well let me know what are your thoughts as we continue with our show for today, because I think this was not thwarted coup, it was an attempted coup that failed. But do you think that the next time it will fail? Of course it won't fail, but I'm so glad to see that we have Africans who are waking up and realizing, oh, this puppet is here doing nothing for us. We need to get rid of them. And this is the first time we are seeing these people courageously coming out and trying to overthrow the leader. So next time it won't fail. But anyway, a series of attacks on military barracks and prison in Sierra Leone over the weekend was a failed coup attempt, according to the police and government officials in the West African country. Information Minister Chenor Ba said that 13 military officers and 1 civilian had been arrested following the incident. And by the fact that now it is the military, most of the time in Africa we're seeing it is military takeovers, and it doesn't mean that these are the best people to lead us, but it means that now we have people who want their freedom back. It doesn't mean that these militaries these armies are the best people to lead us. And at the end of the day, you might find that now these people, they might get the seat, or they might get the authority, or they might be able to get rid of the puppet leader and also become another puppet government. But at the end of the day, it makes me so happy to see that we have Africans waking up and realizing that these people have been here for the longest time. They have not done anything for us, and it is high time we get rid of them. Shout out to Selector Alfie, and thank you very much. I see Mr. Blackout Fire in the building. Karibu sana. You're saying it was an attempted coup, Katie. The African people are finally starting to say enough is enough. And I'm so glad about this, because at the end of the day, this is the spirit we want in Africa. We can't keep on suffering and saying that, you know, there's nothing we can do. At least these people are showing us there's something we can do. And whatever happened in Niger showed us, of course, there's always something we can do as African people. We cannot be kept under poverty all the time and saying there's nothing we can do. There's always something we can do as African people. But the incident was a failed coup, was a failed attempted coup. The intention was to illegally subvert and overthrow a democratically elected government, Ba said on Tuesday. And those democratically elected presidents, they are always the ones on the wrong. They are always those presidents that are puppet leaders, because I look at our they call our elections democracy, and this is nothing like democracy. Democracy doesn't allow, or a democratic state is where we see civilians having a say. But in Africa, it is the opposite, but they still want to call this democracy. Is that democracy for real? That is not democracy for us. And now this is why you see Africans taking actions into their hands and trying to overthrow these puppets. That is the true democracy, because we are yearning for the truth. We are yearning for the right democracy, because we know very well we have never had the true democracy they keep on calling a democratically elected president. We don't have any democratically elected president in Africa. But anyway, the attempted failed, and plenty of the leaders are either in police custody or on the run. We will try to capture them and bring them to the full force of the laws of Sierra Leone. The Inspector General Police said the attempted coup failed in the early hours of the 26th November. And William Faye Selu told reporters that a group of people had tried to illegally unseat the government with a force. That is what is going to happen to all these puppet leaders. We will make sure that they are no longer here, because at the end of the day, nobody is willing to go through poverty from the day they are born to the day they die just because of these puppet leaders. Imagine you're facing poverty. You saw your parents facing poverty until they died. You are now enduring poverty just because of the same puppet leaders. Look at a country like Uganda. There's a child who has been born, gotten their ID cards with the same under the same president. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to you. But I see Kivi saying, elected leader, you mean selected leader. Very true. Everyone knows there is no democracy in Africa. Very true. And also you're saying, don't worry, they will try again and again for now, Katie. Yes, this is what I'm saying. For the first time they tried, do you think that the second time they will fail? Of course they won't fail. And this is the spirit we want in Africa. You know, this was just a start because we've never seen these people trying this again. And by the fact that they tried, this doesn't mean the arrest of the leaders doesn't mean that they will stop it. They will continue until they get what they want. And this is a mind of a tired African. This is a mind of an African who feels like enough is enough. I am tired. I need my rights. I need democracy in this country. And you've never seen a hungry and an angry African. This is what they will do. They will try all the time. They will make sure that they win. And this is it. It is it. They will make sure that they win and they get what they want. At the end of the day, they will never quit until they get what they want. You saw what happened in Niger. How many attempted coups have we had? How many? And at the end of the day, they conquered. So at the end of the day, we are waiting to see what will happen with Sierra Leone. But remember, they will be able. This was a first attempt, and they did well. I'm not even afraid of what they did. They did well, and at least now they shook the government. They scared the government, and right now the government is scared. They know that they can be overthrown anytime, and that is a good gesture. They know very well that they can be overthrown anytime. But anyway, I want us to talk about something a little bit serious and also a little bit good and positive. Kid was saying, I told you all these puppets are scared now because coup will be coming again and again because you are tired enough. Very true. Because Africans are tired enough. And this is why we're seeing coups coming in Africa, like Sierra Leone. And you think this was an attempted failed coup? Yes, it was. But it is just for this time it was a failed coup. But wait, let's see next time what will happen. They will not be defeated. They will be able to overthrow that puppet leader. But as we get to continue, this is a very good news coming from Uganda. There's a 70-year-old woman in Uganda who was given birth to twins. And it's crazy about how about menopause and everything. Shout out to you, Emanuele. Thank you very much for joining us. It's so crazy with how Africans talk about menopause, not knowing that African women, we're not limited to giving birth at any age. But sometimes I guess it's the health issues that hinders you from getting pregnant anytime you want. But anyway, what has happened is that there's a 70-year-old Ugandan woman that has given birth to twins. And a 70-year-old Ugandan woman has just had twins after becoming pregnant through a IVF treatment, becoming the oldest woman in Africa to give birth, according to the hospital where she had the babies. The Women's Hospital International and Fertility Center in the Ugandan capital, Kampala, said Safina Mukwaya delivered a baby boy and a baby girl. And this baby are very healthy. This story isn't just about medical success. It is about the strength and resilience of a human spirit, the hospital said on Facebook following Miss Nakumwaya's successful cesarean delivery on Wednesday. And Kid is saying that's because the African woman has the best genetic on the planet. Very true. I totally agree with you. And now if you go and do your research, or if you just go to Google and research about the menopausal transition, most of the time you're told the menopausal transition most often begins between the ages of 45 and 55. Should say for other people, but not for African women, because if this woman is able to conceive at the age of 70 years old, it means that there is no menopausal transition in African women. And it usually lasts about 7 years, but can be as long as 14 years. The duration can depend on lifestyle factors such as smoking, age begins, and race and ethnicity. And I think race it is for Black women. We don't have menopausal transition. But Kid is saying to be a young woman in Africa because you weren't even middle-aged yet. Yes, and this is a very good thing, knowing that an African woman can give birth anytime. It's so good. It's so good. And the fact that even Google is telling you the duration can depend on lifestyle factors such as smoking, age it begins, and the race and ethnicity. And I bet the race is it. There's nothing like ethnicity. It's about the race. And remember, we only have how many races? Only two. We only have two races. It's either black or white. So a Black woman has a higher capacity, or I bet we should say this. A woman, African women, we are capable of giving birth at any age, provided your health is okay. And now, if you go to the same Google, let me ask something on Google. Look at the mortality rates in Africa. You will find that in Africa we have highest mortality rates, and I find it so bad because they say Africa has the highest mortality rates. Why do you think this is happening, especially Black women in the USA? I don't know why. Why is this happening? Don't you sense something? Don't you sense something fishy? In the USA, they say the mortality rates, especially for Black women, is the highest. That is so fishy. It doesn't make sense. But Keith, you're saying yes, it is the race, the African race. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So when you get to look up about the mortality rate, let me check what is the mortality rate. The mortality rate of African women. African women. Okay, in 2020, the maternal mortality ratio in the African region was estimated at 531 deaths per 100,000 live births. Countries with extremely high maternal mortality rates are South Sudan with 1,223 deaths, followed by Chad with 1,063 deaths, and Nigeria with 1,047 deaths per 100,000 lives of birth. Why do you think this is so? Or do you think this is a lie? Do you think this is a rumor just being spread? Because it doesn't make sense. But I was going through something when I saw, this whole topic was inspired by this woman who is 70 years old and gave birth to twins. And I was going through something in some videos, and I saw in the USA, we have the highest mortality rates, especially in black women. And I don't understand this maternal mortality rate in black women. Do you think that this is a rumor? It's a propaganda just being passed everywhere so that African women can be afraid of giving birth? Or do you think that it actually makes sense? Because it doesn't make sense for me. But I see Kid is saying, because we got conquered, Katie, and they don't treat us well in their medical care, Katie. Okay, and also you're saying, remember, Katie, they want you to know what to us. They want you to know what to us. That's why we die are so high now. And also you're saying, and they have impoverished us, Katie, so our healthcare is not good. Yeah, I totally agree with you, but doesn't it it doesn't make sense why African women are most of the ones getting in the way of maternal mortality rate, but it's not mostly white women in the USA, especially in the USA. This raises a lot of concerns, and I'd advise now African women, if you're trying to give birth in the USA, just find a hospital where you know very well this is a black person that is going to take care of me, because at the end of the day, we don't want these maternal mortality rates to keep on increasing and also showing that black women are the ones losing their babies or having maternal or increasing the maternal mortality rate. But I see you're saying it's true, Katie, because the diet and the lifestyle we live in the United States. Okay, because of the GMOs and everything. It's so sad. It is so sad to see that now in the USA, the maternal mortality rate for black women is higher. And this is so sad. But also, you need to know that you are in a foreign nation where nobody wants you, and even the justice systems in such countries are not in your favor. So I bet this is why we have such things happening. But at the end of the day, we need to take care of ourselves, the diet we are having or whatever we are taking in our bodies, because we as women, we say we're the most superior being. But anyway, I see Kid, you're saying, because white people are treated better in the United States and black women dying, no one cares. Very true. Very true. Very, very, very true. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So in case you want to give birth in the US, please make sure you are somewhere you know very well. This hospital is concerned about my well-being. This hospital is concerned about the well-being of my baby, because it's crazy how the maternal mortality rate in the USA is so high, especially for black women. And also you're saying exactly 100%, Katie, that's true. But going back to this woman, at the age of 70, she has welcomed 2 bouncing baby girl and a baby boy. Isn't that's great? At the age of 70, imagine at the age of 70, you are able to give birth as an African woman. That's so great, that's so good. But anyway, this story isn't okay. Miss Nakumwaya told privately owned NTV channel that it was her second delivery in 3 years after she gave birth to a girl in 2020. In 2020, how many years from now? 2 years, 3 years actually. And at that time she was 67. Wow, this is so good. This woman is blessed. And she added that she had experienced multiple difficulties during the pregnancy, including desertion by the children's father. And men don't like to be told that you are carrying more than one child ever. Since I was admitted here, my man has never showed up. She said it's so crazy about men and child support. But anyway, Miss Nakumwaya said that she did not know how she would manage to raise the baby or the children. but was happy to have them after years of enduring stigma and being ridiculed for being childless. And one time, a very young boy heckled at me, saying I had been cast by my mother to die without a child. That is so crazy. And this also stigmatization of African people. If you don't have a baby, and sometimes African women are just like that. You don't have to have a baby. You are not ready. Now there's that stigmatization that comes with this woman is childless, and we should stop that as African people. But Katie, you're saying that's on purpose, Katie. You think the whites are people here once more are black people being born. Connect the dots. And that's why the rate is so high. I understand very well. This is why I'm saying, if you are in that country, please make sure you are in a hospital. You know very well they are concerned about your health and the health of the baby, because you are in a foreign country, a country where your race is not wanted over there, your race is not accepted over there, but they just have to bear with the fact that you are there, but it's not that now they have accepted you fully. So as a woman, make sure you even the hospitals you're going to in that place is in favor or is in your favor. But as we get to continue to other different matters, this is about the Kenyan government or the Kenyan courts, or this is about the court overturning unpopular payroll levy. And I saw after this the president immediately came and said that the employers should continue deducting the housing levy. And in case they don't continue deducting the housing levy, the government will take a heavy measure on them. And I'm like, the court has ruled this not legal. The court has said this is illegal, but the president is here beating his chest and saying that if you are not cutting the if you're not deducting the housing levy from your employees, sorry, we shall take a heavy measure on you. But anyway, a Kenyan court ruled on Tuesday that a salary levy introduced by President William Ruto in June was illegal, dealing a major blow to the government's aim of bolstering state coffers, allowing a 1.5% levy on the salaries of all Kenyan taxpayers, including employers, was passed in June to finance a low-cost housing program. 3 judges of the Nairobi High Court ruled that the measure was not part of a complete legal framework, and that the exclusion of informal workers was discriminatory and irrational. An order has been made prohibiting the collection of the housing levy or the fees known as the Affordable Housing Act, said Justice David Majanja. And the levy was part of the budget bill that introduced many new taxes for Kenyans against a backdrop of already high inflation. This is crazy because at the end of the day, you are going to pay that housing levy. No matter what the court said, no matter the courts are coming up and saying that this is illegal, this is not the right way to go even about introduction of says to Kenyans. You didn't come here and say that you should deduct that money. And if you don't, we shall take a heavy measure. What do you think about this? Because this is so crazy because, one, the issue was in court. The court declared this illegal, but the president is going on ahead and saying that, you know what? You have to deduct. The court went on and said that this was illegal, but the president came out yesterday and he said, no matter what the court has said, I still want my tax money. You still have to give me that money. So what do you think will happen? Because I seen the employers were told to deduct. So what do you think will happen? Because at the end of the day, I don't think there's anything now the employers can do for not or will not. There's nothing else because the government has said, I want my money. Because remember, we have now the KRA agents who are walking door to door, not from shops to shops and taking the taxes. Do you think that now this will happen? Do you think that these people will be able to continue paying the housing levy? Or do you think that the Kenyan government will stop the madness and say, okay, it's illegal, just like the way the court said? Or do you think they will find another way? Or this is just a game that we saw with the court of Kenya also still going, saying that the finance bill is illegal, and then after 2 days, they come and tell us it is legal, it is passed. Do you think that this is the same thing that will happen? Because I feel like, okay, they will just do this for like 2 days, and then tomorrow they will come to us and tell us, okay, the court has decided you should now be paying the tax, the housing levy. It doesn't make sense. Imagine how many taxes that have been introduced to Kenyans who are not even, these Kenyans, they are not well. They are not well off. These Kenyans are struggling. I mean, we are struggling to live in this country, but right now the president wants to keep on adding, the government wants to keep on adding more taxes. And remember, this housing levy, it's supposed to give an affordable housing to Kenyans, of which we are not going to see this. Of course, the government is building houses that they claim these houses should be for Kenyans, but remember, these houses, you're not going to live in that house for free. You are not going to live in that house for free, and you'll be paying a lot of money. I bet you'll be paying a lot, and not less than 5,000. Of course, you won't be paying less than 5,000 living in a government-owned property. So, do you think that this is right for the Kenyans to be paying for the housing levy, for the affordable housing for Kenyans, which will not be affordable? It was right if the houses are affordable, but imagine you are in a house, you're living in a house that was built very well by your tax money, and you're paying over 10,000 for what? You know very well this was your tax money that built this house. Of course, you're supposed to pay rent because that house needs to be maintained, but 10,000 plus. Anyway, I'm waiting to see how much they will be charging for rent in these houses, because they are calling them affordable housing, or affordable housing for Kenyans. But we're waiting to see how much money will they be collecting as rent from these people, tenants. I'm just waiting to see. I saw there was a project that began already in Kibra. I also know that there's a project that is supposed to start around Langata, and we are waiting to see how much money will the government be collecting from now the people, the tenants, as a rent, because at the end of the day, you cannot build a house and call it a government property using my money, using my tax money, and also you want to charge me a lot of it, and you're forcing me to pay the house levy in a house that I will not even never live, in a house that I will never even enjoy a coin coming from it, because of course these people will be paying the rent. Where do you think that the rent money will be going to? It will not be going anywhere to the government's companies, to the Kenyan revenue. It will not be going anywhere to the Kenyan revenue. But anyway, I see Kivi saying he can't take any measure because it's illegal. He's the president, not a king. Yeah, he's not president, not a king. But you know what happens in Kenya. Didn't you see the finance bill being called illegal, and after a few days it was passed, and they said this is what happens. it is what happens. And remember, those judges that are ruling these cases, they were the judges that were selected by the person who is proposing for this levy, for these new taxes. So it's just few days of confusion, and then that's it. Few days of confusion, and then it's put in a law. It's just law. But anyway, I see Kidio saying it's not their money. It's illegal. Yeah, it is illegal. I understand that, but do they care? They know very well this is illegal, but they have made even the law to work in their favor. They have put judges who are working in their favor. So at the end of the day, who is getting depressed over here? Who is getting oppressed over here? It is the civilian. It is the civilian. But shout out to Polyamorous Jerry. Shout out to Muhindio, shout out to Sadie's Bridges, shout out to Damiensko, and to everybody who is there with us. I see Polyamorous is saying affordable housing is a myth all across the world. Okay. Yeah, and I have been saying this for the longest time. This has been a song for the longest time. When we saw our ex-president, or the previous president, that was Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta, one of his campaign agendas and strategies, he said, I'll provide proper and affordable housing for Kenyans. Did we see this? I'm trying to think, did he even ever build a shelter for any family or for Kenyans? I can't remember one, but this was one of his strategies. Education. The same campaign agendas, the same campaign strategies were the same used by the current president. They all come and say, we shall improve the infrastructure. We shall improve education. We shall do this. We will be me and my government will do this. But do we ever see them doing it? I bet talking is very easy. And he came out and said that I don't understand why my promises take so long to fulfill. He came to you and told you that. Yeah. So I also don't understand why you would promise something and you feel like, now this is so hard for me to give back. I promised you. But why is it so hard for you to do it? Because you never meant it. You never meant it. You are just telling us something that was in your mind to please us, and you knew very well that this was going to please us, but you never meant that you were going to do this. Look at our education systems right here in Kenya. And I hope I'm going to be rich because my children will not get to this struggle of going through this Kenyan education. This Kenyan curriculum, all the time, it's messed up. You even messing the mind of the child. One day, they are turning to CBC. The other day, it's 844. You even get the children minds confused. One day, you're introducing these books. The other day, this book is illegal, should not be in school. Right now in CBC, it was in grade 3, I saw a book where they are teaching children, a family of mother, child. It is there up to date. This book is not removed in the curriculum. And if you want evidence, I have it. The same book has a family of father, child. And that's a complete family. So what is being taught to our children? This is the newest curriculum in Kenya, by the way. It's the CBC, competence-based curriculum. But in this curriculum, they are telling you it is very okay to have a family of a father and a child. So what is that being taught? And that is the education your government promised you to improve. That is what they say, that we shall make education very better, or we shall make education better for our children and the coming generation. Tell me, where is better there? What is better there? There's nothing. There's nothing. One day you wake up, today we are turning 844, today we are turning CBC, today we are doing this. In CBC we are seeing a lot of things that even doesn't make sense. And you're wondering, okay, this is CBC, it's right. At least they are showing them technical skills. But at the end of the day, do you think that this is beneficial? Imagine in grade 3 in China, we have a child in class being taught coding. But in grade 3 in Kenya, your child is being taught a lot of singing games. Kushona kamba, making ropes out of grass. That is what your baby is being taught right here in CBC. So tell me, when are we going to be better? And I've remembered something. Before I even go further, I have a video to share before we get close to winding up. Let me share this video. This video is actually from a white boy. I bet this was a presentation in his school, and they are talking about African economy, and they are talking about the death rates in Africa compared to the United States. Can I share my screen real quick so that we get to understand what I'm talking about? These people are so educated to a point that they understand Africa is like this and this and this. Their economy is like this and this and this. Go outside there, ask a child, where is the UK? They won't tell you. Where is China? In which continent? They don't know. Anyway, here's my screen. Enjoy the video and let me know what are your thoughts. Okay, a minute. I want you guys to listen to this keenly. Coming from a white person that understands your economy, it should be a threat. It should be a threat to you as an African person. I don't know why you guys cannot see my screen. Okay. To stage. Okay. Yes, a white man, Aaron. I'm talking about a white man who understands. You guys, I don't know what's happening. Okay, there it is. There it is. In case you want to see but the audio is very audible, I bet. And in case you want to listen to it, kindly make sure you're listening to this keenly and understand what this white boy. I don't know if this is a boy because the voice is so I don't know, but I don't know if this is a boy or a girl, but anyway, just understand what they are saying. Aaron is saying the queen was white. Which queen are you talking about? Huh? Which queen are you talking about? Who does care about the queen right now? Anyway, here's my video. Listen to this keenly, understand what this white man or woman is saying, and let's come and talk about it.
And unlike many countries in the West, including Britain, Africa is not saddled with debt. The British debt is 87% of the British GDP, while the African debt is only 9% of their GDP. Or but 2 countries in Africa could pay off their debt in 1 year. So the potential is the continent in the world with the fastest is economic growth.
But we don't see this as Africans. We don't see this as Africans. Somebody's saying the queen who came to Kenya. So what about the queen being white? I don't get. What's your point with the queen being white? I don't get your point. But anyway, we're talking about this. Yeah.
In Africa,
You even made my video.
expected to rise
Please.
by 800% from 2020 to 2050. Anyone who doubts Africa can make quick economic progress like this should look at the economic history of the US. In 1977, the US economy was the same size as the African economy is today. And since then, the American economy has grown by a massive $18.419 trillion. And with Africa having more natural resources than the US, its progress in the next 40 years could be even more spectacular. So if you're someone here today who thinks that Africa will never catch up with the rest of the world, I want to say that you will be proved wrong. With its mammoth population, massive potential, and amazing stores of resources, within your lifetime, Africa will become an economic superpower.
Imagine, this is a white man talking so confidently, believing in Africa. Yet we as African people, we don't even believe in ourselves. We don't believe we have so much wealth. We don't even know how to run our economies. And this is why we are not where we are supposed to be at. We don't know how to run our economy. And you know, the reason our economy is just like the way it is right now, because our economy is being run by somebody else who is not African, and somebody else who wants to destroy our African economy. We need to understand this. You should understand that this is a boy, woman. I don't understand if this is a boy or a woman or a girl, but you have to understand what he's saying. He's talking about how Africa is capable of growing economically better than the United States, the UK. He gave you examples. He showed you numbers. But Africans, we don't even believe we can do this. We don't believe it. But why do you think that now we don't run our economies as African people? One, we're still not independent. Two, we're still under somebody's rule. That's what I'm talking about, the independence. Three, we have no education to run our economies. Look at the mathematics you're being taught in school. Look at the education you're being taught in school. The business studies that you're being taught in school. The education you're receiving from the Kenyan government. Do you think that that is enough to run your economy with the little knowledge they are giving you in school? Of course not. Of course not. Some of these puppet leaders we have in our government, they even don't understand how our economy is ran. They don't understand. Look at your president right here. He's talking about selling 35 parastatals in order to open up capital for 100 more companies. Does that even add up for you? Does that make sense? Does that mathematics make sense? Hiyo ni hesabu ya kari 1 minus 1. Ina make sense wapi? It doesn't make sense. But anyway, my people, I think we shall wrap it up right there. I see Aaron is saying you like radio. I see you. Thank you very much. And also you're saying, did you know Kenya is the new Somalia? What are you talking about? Man, Aaron, sijui unaongelea nini jameni. I don't know what you're talking about. But wait. Aaron is saying, yes, he has no money. He's leading. Damn. I totally don't understand about Aaron. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I bet if you keep listening to our conversation, we would understand each other, because right now I'm not understanding you, and I'm not even understanding what you're talking about, what the Queen had to do with all whatever we are doing, and the Queen being why. But anyway, family, thank you very much for being with us on today's episode. Asanteni sana for keeping it the Blackout Fire Network, and also thank you very much to all those who conversated with me. Shout out to Emanuele, thank you very much. Shout out to Aaron, thank you very much. Aaron, please make sure, will I DM you? That's up to you to decide, but do you know my username? Of course you don't. But anyway, family, hope to see you later on the Word of the Streets. Remember, I'll be back with the Word of the Streets in the streets of Rongai. Have an enjoyable rest part of the day. And remember to hydrate and mind your own business. Shout out to Aaron again. Aaron, you're a funny creature. But anyway, you can find me on all platforms. On Instagram, I'm Jerry KE. On TikTok, Jerry. I even don't know. Jerry Katie. And where else? You can only find me there. But anyway, enjoy the rest part of your day, and hope to see you in Jerry KE on Instagram. But anyway, family, see you later. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. Tuonane. This is King Promise. The jam is Terminator. Enjoy and jam to it. Tuonane mabadais. Much love.
Greetings and salutations, Master News Andrew Robinson, all the way in Switzerland, and you're tuning into the Black Fire Radio, and you're listening to